Here is my sweet potato from last year, and I am trying to start some slips off of it like I learned from old school with a modern twist. Nothing at the top yet, but I am definitely starting to see more roots, which I wasn't before, but I moved it to a sunnier location and I think that's starting to help it. So I'm starting to see several roots and a little bit of slimy yuck on there, but hopefully that'll be okay. And here is my feeble attempt at some seed starting, and these are all broccoli plants, and I'm thrilled to see that they are starting to sprout. I plant a lot of broccoli. I try to do somewhere between 25 and 30 plants. So if I can do these myself, I'm definitely saving over buying them at the garden center or at my feed store. My feed store got their seed potatoes and everything, so I am ready to go. And I always plant Yukon Gold, we like those, and I do Kennebecs, which are a later, more white potato. And I do two varieties of red potatoes, and I don't know what they are. One's a Pontiac, I don't remember what the other is, but one is early and one is late. I kind of like that. We eat the first batch and then the later ones go in storage. And I got these blue potatoes again and tried fingerlings. I didn't like the blue potatoes last year, but Steve did. These are the blue. And yes, they are like a purple blue on the inside and remind me of Play-Doh. And I think they kind of taste like that too. I'm not a big fan of them, but he likes them. And he does a lot of work, so I'll make a potato he likes. And then I tried fingerlings this year. I've never done those. We'll see what happens with those. There's one of the red potatoes. And the only seeds I needed to buy were my sweet pie pumpkins, or my pie pumpkins. So I picked up some of those. I'm good on seeds. And I have my onions, red and the yellow. I always plant both kinds and plant, quite a bit. We'll see how those do. So all that's left is I just need to buy my peppers and tomatoes and a few other plants that I don't do from seed. Here is one of my little peach trees. Well, the only little one I have. So I'm not sure if I'm going to have any peaches this year or not. Mine tend to do every other year, it seems. And I'm noticing here that on there is a green shoot. And I don't see any pink buds. And it seems to me that when I start seeing green leaves but no blossoms, that it's kind of over for the year. So we'll see how that goes. Well, I just made my Arbor Day order the other day, and this is some things that I picked up at Menards and I think Meyer, but a little smaller size pine tree that shouldn't get overly gigantic. And then these are dogwood bushes. They're red osier dogwood bushes, shrubs, and I'm making a pretty little hedge in part of the yard. I'll show you when I finally get them planted. My fence is working really well, isn't it? All of these guys are supposed to be in that fence under the trees so the hawk doesn't get them. But it looks like a whole bunch of them can just fly right over the side, which isn't good news for my garden either. So I'm going to have to come up with something different here for sure. Well, my garden doesn't look like much right now, but if we look closer, I can see some things happening. Here's my oregano. One of my oreganos is starting to come through, and there's some chives that they're starting. I could actually use those if I wanted. Okay, let's see how this little makeshift deal is doing here. Ooh, look at that. That's some of my kale or something, and I see spinach. Two beautiful, beautiful rows of spinach. All down through there, I've got things coming up. Couldn't be happier with that. My broody hen is still doing well. They ended up breaking one of the eggs, but she still has one smiley face. And I'll probably give her some of the eggs out of the incubator once I figure out where to put her. All of these are growing pretty nicely and doing well. Been bringing them out and letting them harden off like I'm supposed to, and I think We're supposed to get some kind of a rainy, yucky weather pattern this week, and then hopefully I'll be able to get these out and planted. See the dove up there that made a nest? I don't know how doves ever end up reproducing. They make like a nest with a couple twigs and some straw and just call it a day. It's amazing how they raise babies in those. The cat's after something. Oh, she's after those robins over there. I really, really like birds and I feed them. And somehow I picked out a cat at the shelter that's whole life's mission is to eat birds. It's really become a problem.